Okay, hello again. It's been a while. This is something you might find useful to do with getting to know the suit of cups. Although it can also be used for any of the other minor trumps or major trumps as well. And but it's using both sides, both hemispheres of the brain, both sides of the brain. And if I can show you this, this is the left, right? Well, the left, okay, and this is the right. And if I do this, you see the difference between left and right. All right, so the left is angular, and the left side of the brain is analytical and takes something and figures out if it's worth anything, if it's good, if it's bad, whatever it happens to be. The right side of the brain is more creative, and that's why I made it sort of circular and rounded and more ornamental, for instance. So with the left side of the brain, you're looking for quality. And the right side of the brain, you're looking for quantity, right? Quantity, as opposed to quality. So if you have to, let's say you've got a problem or a project you have to do or an essay you have to write, whatever it happens to be, it's a good idea to make use of both sides of the brain, but it's not a good idea to try and make use of both sides of the brain at the same time or one after the other. So let's say you're writing an essay and you write down like an idea that you might want to develop in the essay. You're better off to leave that idea alone and then come back to it the next day, rather than think, okay, maybe I'll write about this, and then immediately go to the left side of the brain and think, okay, is this a good idea? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, and so on. If you do it like that, you sort of get stuck, or you end up with not very good ideas, or you don't appreciate what you've got. And if you'd left it for a bit, you would have been able to do an awful lot more with the particular idea. So with that in mind, I'm saying, first, generate a number of ideas. So you're looking for quantity, and maybe make a note of them, and then leave them for a bit, and then later that same day, or the next day, or a couple of days later, come back and take each individual idea. So for a time you're being right-brained and creative, and then for another time you're being left-brained and analytical, and you're looking for quality. So one way of doing it is, these are the 10 minor trumps of the suit of cups. So I just sort of spread them out here in front of me. And what you do is you take maybe 5 minutes and you look at them, and you do it quickly and easily, and you see what comes. Because look at these two. We're noticing here, there's a kind of similarity, because we've got the fellow standing, but here's the person walking away. So on the one hand, we've got thinking about things. On the other hand, we've got having thought about things, moving away. Whereas we look at, let's say, the 2 and the 3 and the 6, you look at them and we've got people celebrating, looks like an exchange of gifts. There's the 2 and the 6, they're kind of similar. Here we've got a more mature couple exchanging. Maybe this is more formal, or maybe this is about marriage, whereas this is about a gift and it's more playful and it's more useful, for instance. So maybe with the 2 of Cups we've got the idea of, let's say, matured relationship, whereas here we've got a more playful approach to things. And then we look here, so maybe just to sort of play with them, and here we've got as well the 2 of Cups and the 10, because we've got the 2. And maybe this is an older version of this couple, because this can be, let's say, young love, or people in their 20s who decide that they want to settle down with each other. I'm sort of making this up, but you get the idea. It's easy enough to see that from this particular card. And maybe this is them later. So this is the early years of marriage, and this is the older version of that, and they've got children. And this is number 10. So maybe the suit of cups is all about, if we look at the 10, maybe we start with the ace somewhere here, And you go through various stages to get to the end. And maybe the point of cups is to establish a loving, friendly, workable relationship with another person that produces offspring, so that you sort of do what you do, but there's going to be another generation comes after it. So it could be like if you're writing a software program, okay, you get version 1.0, but the point, if so, let's say how is the business going to go, the software business? If you get the 10 of Cups, even though it shows a man and a woman and children, we could say that the children represent version 2.0 or 2.1 or version 1.7. So that it's going to be important that you have that you keep in mind there's going to be a next generation. Even though you may look at the card and wonder what the children and parents and the rainbow have to do with software, and that can be what you're meant to think about if this particular card came up. So we've also got. I'm looking at this rainbow here, but it comes after a storm, and I'm wondering, maybe these two in some way relate to, because this can be relief, okay? Because the rainbow comes after the storm. These two, the 8 and the 5, seem to be, difficulties or problems that people face, whereas the others don't really look like problems. The 2, the 3, the 6, the 9. The ace, these are all sort of friendly and happy and so on. So you take 5 minutes and you look at, and the thing is, if you do this today and then do it tomorrow, you're going to notice things you didn't notice on the first occasion, because there's so many different possibilities. Maybe you'll end up looking at 3 together for some reason, or notice something that these 3 cards have in common. Because here we've got the people standing with the arms up in the air, whereas this person, we can't see his arms. So here, you're going to look at these people and you're going to know from their gestures if they're happy or sad or excited or enthusiastic, whereas you're going to look at this card and you can't see the person's arms. You don't know how the person is acting or reacting. Because think about people when you see them up close or in the distance, when you see what their arms are doing, you can sort of read their body language and get an idea if they're going to be in a good mood when you actually come in contact with them. With this particular card, you really don't know. You can't tell because we can't see the arms and the hands. And that could be something that you notice, the second time that you look at the cards. Here, though, person's walking away, but we see he's using a baton or a staff of some sort. So we can sort of read more about him than we can about this individual. So there's certain things, when the 5 of Cups comes up, there are certain things you can't know. You just don't know. Okay, that's the kind of thing you do. You take 5 minutes and you make some notes, and then you put your cards away, and in a moment I'm going to switch off the camera, but then I'll come back as if, it's the next day, and we'll do the second part. Okay, so what I did was I wrote down a couple of ideas that came up when I was looking at this particular card in combination with all the others. And I wrote down can't know reactions. So I'm saying with this one, because we can't see the person's arms, we don't know how they're going to react, or how they reacted in the past, or how they're going to react in the future. And this so we're being left-brained now. We don't want quantity, we want quality. So we're taking a single idea and we're thinking it through and seeing what we can do with it, or where we go, where it takes us, let's say, or where we would take the idea. So we've got the idea of, for instance, not being able to read the person and see and know how they're going to react to any particular circumstance. So it could be that when this card comes up, the 5 of Cups, you're going to have to look to other cards in the spread to know whether the person is happy or sad or confident, because you can't read this one on its own. So let's say we've got the 5 of Cups here, and in the future we've got the 10. This is a card of celebration. right? So we can look at this one and say, okay, it's likely that you're going to see the two of cups that are upright instead of focusing on the three cups that have been knocked over. So you're going to be optimistic and do something with your future rather than be depressed by what hasn't worked, because the Ten of Cups is there. But let's say you've got the Five of Cups here, and we've got the Seven of Cups reversed beside it. This is obviously, well, see, obviously it's likely that here there's confusion. And so it's more likely that the person is going to be influenced by the three cups that have been knocked over. So the person's going to be more impressed by failure than by success or the possibility of success. Or he's going to see, because he's looking in this direction and the cups are here upright or behind him, it can be in combination with this particular card that he's more motivated to look on the dark side, or to not be that willing to be optimistic about the future, let's say. So that's one. Can't know reactions I wrote down. The other thing is he's wearing a dark clock, and it's a kind of greyish background. So it may. One of the ideas we could get from this particular card is that it's somebody who wants to, or who is able to blend into the background, right? So that you can, they're there, but maybe that there will be times when it's hard to identify the person, to know who the person is actually. So maybe this is somebody who is mysterious, or somebody that people know, but there's so much about them that they don't know. So you have to wonder, can you know this person well? Very likely, probably not. So the other thing is that maybe when the card is upside down, if we take the idea that he's wearing the dark cloak and he can therefore blend into the background, the Five of Cups upside down, this can be somebody who wants to be invisible, but who can't. They want to blend into the background and not have anybody notice them. But with the Five of Cups upside down, if that's what you want, too bad, because it's not going to happen. You may want to blend in or be invisible, but it's not going to happen. If people are going to know you, they're going to notice you, they're going to notice your contribution, they're going to notice your lack of contribution, whatever it happens to be. So with the Five of Cups reversed, you're going to be in the spotlight, even if you want to be in the background. And this is the idea of taking a single idea and expanding on it and taking it where you can take it, and developing a bit more understanding about one portion of or one meaning that belongs with a particular card. The other thing is that this person's standing still, right? Okay, he's standing still, so it can be that he shouldn't act without thinking, because he's looking, and it looks like he's standing still and contemplating or thinking or pondering or meditating or whatever it happens to be. So it looks like he shouldn't act, or if this is you shouldn't act without thinking. And it seems that with that in mind, then understanding what's going on is more important than acting. So if somebody says, okay, I want a new job, and the Five of Cups comes up, you say to the questioner, okay, do you really understand what's involved in having a new job? A new location, new people, new responsibilities, new industry, for instance. Do you understand what's actually involved in that? So it's not, what's important is for you to have a clear picture in mind of what you want and what you're going to be dealing with in the future, rather than just moving for the sake of moving to get away from people you don't like maybe, or to get away from a situation that you're not comfortable with. So in that way, even though it's the sort of cups, it would seem that the mental attitude or the mental state of the questioner is much more important than the physical condition that the individual is in. So, probably running out of time. So that's something about taking the sort of cups, or whatever you happen to want to deal with, shuffling them up, playing with them, looking at them quickly, and just seeing what ideas come to mind. Because here we've got this, look, sitting and sitting. What's the similarity? What's the difference between them? And then once you've got a lot of, or a bunch of ideas about what the cards might be telling you, you put them aside for the time being, go back to them the next day, once time has passed, and then you take each idea individually and work with it and get from it as much quality as you can. That was it. Thank you very much.